Superior Court Clerk of the Court. And we're getting started right now. With us, we have Rebecca Keaton, candidates and incumbent. We have Sandra Rowan, Nick Simpson, Connie Taylor, and Nancy Sherrill. The first question we'll take in, starting with Rebecca, the first question, and then I'll go through each one of you, the candidates, and give you time to respond. I just want to quickly go over the rules for those people who are watching there. Format rules: each candidate will provide a 90-second opening statement. Then there'll be a timed question and answer for 90 seconds response. And then at the end of the Q&A, we'll have time for a 90-second closing statement. Okay, so we'll start first with the opening statements. And is our timekeeper ready? If not, I can. Yes, timekeeper is ready. Okay. Opening statement, we'll start with Rebecca Keaton. Your opening statement, please.
Awesome. Can you hear me okay? Hi there, I'm Rebecca Keaton, and I am your Clerk of Superior Court for Cobb County. I would like to first start by thanking the Cobb County NAACP for hosting this event tonight. I want to do something a little bit different. I'd like to introduce someone special. When I started in January of 2013, I had been practicing law for 16 plus years as a trial lawyer. So I felt eminently familiar with all of the goings on of the clerk's office. So during that clerkship, I decided that it was best for me to appoint a chief deputy that was uniquely qualified, someone with a great deal of experience. And so I decided to select Kim Carroll, who has 20 plus years of experience in the court system, in both Superior Court and in juvenile court. So I would like to introduce her at this time. Kim Carroll.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here.
So Kim and I, we've set a high standard in providing consistent customer service to the taxpayers that's friendly when you walk in the door and efficient in getting your business done. So we are an administrative office, and we must meet our responsibilities to serve the taxpayers as they need us. So during this forum, I hope we get the opportunity to discuss what we've done and what we've achieved over almost 8 years of service in the areas of technology in particular, as well as new services, and then some mentioning about our outstanding staff. So I hope we have the opportunity to do that and to express how we feel about the office. So
thank you. And then that's the time for 90 seconds. Thank you very much. I will try to prompt you guys if warnings at the 60-second point when you have 30 seconds remaining. Thank you very much, Rebecca. Next, Sandra Rowan, your opening statement, please.
Yes, again, thank you for allowing us this opportunity. This whole shelter in place has been a new experience, and I think we'll all agree that it's made things very difficult for us to meet people. My name is Sandra Rowan, and I am a conservative businesswoman with over 20 years of experience with proven results. I actually worked in the clerk's office and managed the Board of Equalization and the real estate department. In both departments, I implemented changes that increased productivity, 25% over savings with the budgetaries. Also, I have had an opportunity to serve my community. This is my home. Cobb County is where I was born and raised. I was born at Kennestone Hospital, and so were my daughters. And I have spent a lot of years here, won't tell you how many, but anyway, I am looking forward to being able to serve Cobb County. I do believe that serving the Cobb County, the citizens of Cobb County, is the #1 priority of the Clerk of Superior Court. It is a very important department that handles people's titles and deeds, their rights to appeal their taxes, so many things that are involved in the courts. So that is why I'm running, is that I want to give back to my community and bring back some of the same things that I implemented with customer service, savings, and giving the best to Cobb County.
Sorry about that. Next for opening statements will be Nick Simpson. Nick, your opening statement, please.
Yes, hi. Good evening, everyone. I want to thank the NAACP for providing us with this forum. At this time, a lot is happening, around the world with COVID-19 and, just a lot of unrest with everything that's happening in our communities with Ahmaud Arbery. My prayers go out to his family, and I hope that District Attorney Holmes is able to adjudicate that case, and hopefully justice can be served, and we will be able to move on and move forward as one people and as one Cobb County. I'm running to be your Clerk of Superior Court. I'm a native of Georgia, graduating from North Cobb High School and Hampton University in Virginia, and ultimately Columbia University, where I earned my master's in public administration. I possess 5 years of experience working for the Superior Court previously. After graduating from college, I worked in financial services, didn't find that fulfilling, found myself working for the family court at the Fulton County Superior Court, loved it, helped administer the third grade reading project there, which is a project born from a statistic that says that prison manufacturers determine the number of beds to make by the number of African-American males in third grade. So I hope to bring those type of community programs to the Office of Clerk to make the clerk's office more communicative, have more accuracy in the case counts, and just to bring an overall new era to the clerk's office.
Thank you very much, Nick. Right on time. Next, we'll ask for the opening statement from Ms. Connie Taylor. Connie, your opening statement, please.
Great. Hello, everyone. This is Connie Taylor. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, I'm sorry. This is Connie Taylor. And first, let me say thank you to the NAACP for allowing us to have this opportunity. I am actually running for Clerk of the Court because I have been here in Cobb County for over 20 years. I've served on the Tax Assessor Board, who has worked closely not only with the Clerk's office, but also with the Tax Commissioner's office. I have been selected to be appointed to several boards within the county, the Splash Oversight Committee, the Parks Board. I'm now on the foundation for the library and a trustee also for the library. I also have several, over 20 years of government experience. I work very closely with the local municipality right now that I work for, and I am also a real estate agent, so a broker. So I have very much experience in the real estate field.
Okay, thank you, Connie. And now, opening statement from Nancy, sir. Nancy?
Hi. I too want to thank the Cobb NAACP for giving us this forum, this opportunity to speak to the voters since it's been so limited. So I really appreciate this. I'm Nancy Syrup, and I'm running for Clerk of the Superior Court. I'm asking for your vote in the June 9th Democratic primary. I'm a lawyer, and I've been practicing law for about 30 years now, and 28 of those years have been in Cobb County. I've practiced criminal defense and family law, and I have served as a staff attorney for a Superior Court judge. I've now owned my own practice here in Cobb for the past 10 years. In my practice, I focus on family law, which is generally divorce, custody, child support, and adoption, those sorts of matters. I also serve the Superior Court as a guardian ad litem, and that assists families and the Superior Court judges in determining the best interests of children. My work experience has prepared me for the job of the Clerk of the Court, and I'm ready to serve on day one. It's critical now more than ever. We mentioned that the effects that COVID-19 have had on our judicial processes. The clerk is going to have a strong working knowledge of the whole court system in order to adapt and innovate and provide access to the records in the court system, especially in light of what's happened with COVID-19. The courts are beginning to adapt to these hurdles that we have, and the clerk's office is going to really have to adapt too. We need a clerk's office that's going to communicate and work collaboratively with the judges and the lawyers and the community in the common goal of getting access to the courts and the records. We also
I appreciate it. That's the time. I was on mute there for a second. Apologize for that. But those are your opening statements. We have one of the only candidates that's not apparently here is Angie Davis, but we'll continue with the candidates that are here with the Q&A. And the first question And we'll start again with Rebecca. What makes, excuse me, why are you running for this office? Rebecca? You're on mute, Rebecca. There you go.
So the question was, why am I running for this office?
Yes.
Well, if you take it back, I guess, to the beginning in January of 2013, when I first became the clerk, my goal then was to improve the office because there was absolutely no technology in the office. And I wanted to be that person that came in and turned the office into the 21st century. And so I'm running again because I'm still not finished. We've accomplished so much in 8 years, but I want to accomplish even more. I have a great staff that I've worked really hard to teach them, for them to learn the job and to manage the job. And so I want to continue that and continue improving the office and serving the people of Cobb County.
Thanks, Rebecca. I just also want to mention to all the candidates out there and those who may be watching that there is a timekeeper. Does have the time warnings at 16, 30, and 60 seconds in the chat room. If you have your chat window open, you can see that and time your responses accordingly. The question is, why are you running? And Sandra, you're next.
Thank you. Can you hear me good?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. I am running because I believe in making the government work for the citizens of Cobb County. The office belongs to them. You are basically a servant and you're there to take care of it and lead it. While I was there as the Board of Equalization, I made several different changes that allowed them to walk out the door with their hearing instead of having it mailed to them. It was an instant $50,000 of savings to the Cobb County government for mailings. It also provided a secure way for somebody to walk out the door with their hearings and have their taxes adjusted on their property. In real estate department, I brought on e-filing for security deeds, which is the mortgage to their homes. This allows people to close on their homes faster. There's no back and forth, and it clears the way for them to refinance their home or to have their home very quickly. It is very important for the people in Cobb to have the things that are accessible to them. In the end, no matter if we talk about technology or if we talk about the main divisions of the court or whether someone's going through a divorce, what's most important is what that person can take away from it. What they need is something that's very clear for all the documents to be on the website, and that means all the documents, which they're not, and for them to be able to assess them easily. And for them to have good customer service from everybody when they walk in the door because the people know their jobs. So that's why I'm running. This is my home, and what I feel and what I want what I feel that Cobb County citizens want. They want a clerk that's going to show up for work and they're going to do their job and they're going to do it very well and empower the people around them.
Thanks, Sandra. Nick Simpson, why are you running to be the clerk of the court for Superior Court of Cobb County?
Yes, well, I initially ran for this office in 2004, and I ran on a platform of access to justice, access to information. At the time, we had a burgeoning Latino community in the county, and my run was more of a cultural inclusion, just wanting to make sure that the clerk's office, since it's the gateway to the justice system, that, could accommodate and, meet everyone and accommodate everyone and everyone feel welcome within the county and within the justice system. So the clerk's office could really be that gateway. Fast forward to 2020, I'm concerned with the doubling of case counts in 2014 and 2015 that occurred in the clerk's office that resulted in the Cobb Superior Court losing its ability to lobby for an additional judgeship. I think that undermines the efficiency of the court by not having that extra judgeship there. Like I said, the clerk's office is the heartbeat of the justice system, and doubling of case counts over a 2-year period, things like that shouldn't happen. There should be some due diligence there. There should be some attention to detail. And I think that I'm the person that can come in and, do the auditing needed to make the changes needed so that we can move forward. And the community and the county can feel that their records and their integrity of their records is kept safe, their deeds are kept safe, and they can sleep at night.
Okay, thank you, Nick. Next up, candidate Connie Taylor. Why are you
I'm
running?
I am running because I am a citizen of Cobb County, and I know what it's like to go into a clerk's office to actually get a document or ask for a document and ask for assistance on getting a document or calling the clerk's office and asking for help. And no citizen should be able to go through what we sometimes go through in order to get the information that we need. And also, I work for government now. And so as a worker, I understand what employees and my coworkers go through, and we should work together. And there should be cohesiveness between all of us together, and we should work together. I am a worker. I am a strong worker, and I believe in working alongside my employees. And if I don't ask them to do anything, I would not do. And I will get in and help them and not just assign them things to do if I'm not willing to do them myself. And I believe that as a citizen of Cobb County, we need accountability. And I'm running for that, to make sure we have accountability in the clerk's office and documents are filed accordingly and on time.
Thank you, Connie. Nancy Syrup, why are you running for clerk? You're on mute, Nancy. Thank you.
You hear me now?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. I'm running because I want to improve the judicial experience for everyone. It is stressful to have to deal with the judicial system, especially if the parts of the system are not working cohesively. I want to increase the access to the clerk's office and to its records. I want people to see a friendly face and a helpful face when they walk in. I want a seamless operation from the different judicial partners. When you're interfacing with the clerk's office, we have to have collaboration, communication, and cooperation through all the judicial partners. And that's what I'm hoping to achieve if I am made their next clerk. That cooperation and cohesiveness will reduce the stress of dealing with the office and reduce the cost by improving efficiencies. This means that lawyers can then focus on their clients and not the processes or the obstacles in the clerk's office. Judges can then rely on the data to be accurate and up to date so that they can administer the justice. And the public can come in the office, go online, or call to ask for help and receive it promptly. I know that a well-oiled machine of a clerk's office can allow others to accomplish their jobs and provide excellent service to the community. And that's why I'm running. I want to improve our legal and judicial community. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Okay, that was our first question. Moving on to the second question. The duty of the Clerk of Superior Court is responsible for filing and maintaining all civil and criminal files. The question is, how will you make the process of filing and retrieving documents and records more efficient and less cumbersome? And we'll start with Rebecca. You're on mute, Rebecca.
Daryl, could you re-ask the question?
The question is, how will you make the process of filing and retrieving documents and records more efficient and less cumbersome?
Less cumbersome. Okay, that's a really good question. Thank you for asking. Right now, we are civil and criminal e-filing. So the process of e-filing has made it so much easier for all of the parties, including the clerk's office. But the clerks, the attorneys who are filing these documents, the process is so much easier because they're doing it all by e-filing, and they can do it at their own home or in their own office. They don't have to do it actually at the clerk's office. Another thing we have is we've greatly improved our website. It's practically brand new since 2013. And that website, you can look up anything on the website. Everything is on our website. All of the documents, you can look up everything, you can see everything, and you can print everything for free. You don't have to pay a fee for that kind of information. So we've made it a lot more efficient and a lot less cumbersome over the last almost 8 years. So I'm very proud of what we've accomplished because we now have a technology department, and we have a chief technology officer who has helped us to install e-filing both on the court side and in real estate. It was under my leadership that e-filing was installed and has been implemented and has been utilized. So those are some of the things that we could do and we have done.
Thank you, Rebecca. And the next candidate on the list is Sandra again. I'll repeat the question. How will you make the process of filing and retrieving documents and records more efficient and less cumbersome?
Well, the most important thing about being able to retrieve a document is 3 different parts, which is one, the technology to be able to do it, having the documents there, legible, and an easy way for someone to understand how to retrieve them. So one thing that we are working on, and something that I was working on before I left, was, again, we had started e-filing in the real estate department with the security deeds, which was a huge deal. We were one of the first counties that did it. But it's also making sure that it's on the website, and the website is easy to use, easy for someone to navigate and to find. So we had to protect the people's rights when they were filing. There's a lot of legalities that go into file these documents. The process itself can be complex. So to have those things in play and utilize the technology in the right way, because it's only a tool, utilize it to the max of its potential so it allows that process to work, and then allowing for us to be able to interact with other departments. And what I mean by that is magistrate court, state court, superior court, FIFAs are filed in real estate, all those types of things. And there has to be this process of fluid going back and forth. At the end of the day, the real value to a Cobb County citizen is if they can use it, if they can find it, and if it's secure, and if it's there. And those are the most important things. So what I would do is make sure that those things are done, and it's what I did before I left. There are still documents that have not been uploaded from real estate. That is one thing that I fought for, and I'll continue to fight for, and I will make sure that happens. That way our title examiners can do their job and can allow citizens to close on their properties faster.
Okay, thank you very much, Sandra. Nick, how will you make the process of filing and retrieving documents and records more efficient and less cumbersome?
Well, the Georgia Superior Court Clerks Authority is working with clerks throughout the state to update, their systems, and a lot of clerks are bringing, these antiquated systems into the future, and that's a great thing, and I think it's a positive thing, and I hope it continues. But what's the point in, investing in all this technology to bring your systems upgraded to the future when a ransomware attack hits? Like the attacks that hit the city of Atlanta in 2018, or the attacks that hit the Cobb, not even Cobb, the Georgia justice system in 2019. Several court systems were affected by the ransomware attack. So I would make cybersecurity, a hallmark of my campaign, and one of the things I would like to implement once elected. Definitely doing an internal review of the office, meeting with the head of IT to determine what the IT protocols are in the clerk's office currently, what access do employees have, cutting off certain access, making sure people aren't bringing their personal jump drives in, things of that nature, to make sure that internally at the most common sense basic level, we have done our due diligence and those protocols are in place. Secondly, I would confer with the Georgia Superior Court Clerks Authority just to see what their goals are as far as cybersecurity, and see if my goals as clerk would align with their goals, to see if we can move everything forward and maybe avert future ransomware attacks in the future, because it's dangerous. It compromises the integrity of the office, and everyone's personal information is out in the World Wide Web.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your response. Connie Taylor, if you're elected,
Yes.
how will you make the process of filing and retrieving documents and records more efficient and less cumbersome?
I think the first step in doing that is getting with staff. Staff understands better what the problem is, what the issue is, and where they feel the need that can help make their job easy, so that the public feels that the documents are easy for them to access, easy for them to get to, and be able to retrieve them. And so that is the number one thing that I feel that you would need to do. As a supervisor, and some supervisors, I see it, especially for the clerk of the court, you feel that you're just going in there and you're just there. But your employees are your best line of defense to making sure that not only it's easy and accessible for them, but if it's easy and accessible for them, it's easy and accessible for the citizen. And the citizen should be able to come and get those documents, retrieve those documents without any problems whatsoever. So what I would do is start with my staff and work with them to determine what is the best way overall for all of us to be able to make that work.
Thanks, Connie. Nancy Syrup, to you. How will you make the process of filing and retrieving documents and records more efficient and less cumbersome?
Thank you for the question. First of all, we do need access to the records, but we need them to be made up to date. Right now, they're not up to date. We'll have filing, and then we'll have a drag time before we can access these records on the website. So resources need to be placed in the clerk's office so that we make sure that the end user has the ability to access those records more quickly. So there can be a quicker turnaround, for instance, in real estate. So there can be a 24-hour turnaround from the filing in order to get it into the website. That hasn't been the case, and that's something that I would want to implement. As also, I want to communicate with the judicial partners to see what they need and make sure that it's all accessible. Again, communication and collaboration is something that I would want to bring to the clerk's office so that we talk to these folks. What do they need? What obstacles are they facing? And then try to address those. The other thing that's happening right now in Cobb County, there is a unified case management system for Cobb government it's in the planning stages right now. And we're going to have collaboration and communication between all the judicial partners in that to make sure that the needs of the clerk's office and the folks that are the end users of the clerk's office have input into that unified case system management. Lastly, again, like Nick said, we do need to be prepared for a ransomware attack. So that's also going to take cooperation and collaboration to get the best system in place, continued diligence, training of employees for best practices to try to prevent these things, and also to work on, if there were an attack, that there was some way that it wouldn't interrupt business. We'd have to make sure there was something else in place so that we could deal with that.
Thank you, Nancy. And as we're all pointing out, the reason we're on Zoom here is because of kind of forced into this electronic age a little deeper and faster than some of us want to. But that brings another question, Rebecca, starting at this new question. With the onset of electronic filing, how do you plan to ensure people without computers have access to the services of the clerk's office and the court system?
That's a good question. It will be a unique group of folks that don't have computers and technology and that kind of thing. But fortunately, we have all of those items of equipment in our lobby. So people are still and always will be able to paper file. So they don't necessarily have to e-file. But I do want to answer a question about a couple of things. First, about technology in the office. When I first came in, there was no technology at all. We now have a technology department with a technology executive that heads that department. And because of him, we were able to do all of the technological things that we have done, which is e-filing, and on the court side, as well as e-filing in real estate. Everything that I'm familiar with is on the website. Everything can be found. We have e-filing that is, by the way, the good 3 date, which is what has been referred to, is current right now, the good 3 date. And when you e-file documents through Peach Court, all of the documents are instantaneously viewable. So I really don't know what's been referred to here as documents that aren't, online or can't be viewed, because our good 3 date is right today. As far as technology goes, we wouldn't have people working from home if we didn't have a great technology officer in the office that was able to help us do some of those things. And as far as ransomware goes, we have our own servers in the Superior Court Clerk's office, separate from the county. And so that's how we protect our office and our data from any kind of ransomware or anything like that. And we plan on continuing to do that in the future.
Thank you, Rebecca. And same question to Sandra Rowan,
Yes.
with the onset of electronic filing, how do you plan to ensure that people without computers have access to the services of the clerk's office and to the court system?
Well, actually, the law does address this. It does require that all clerks have a computer there on site for people to come in and either assist them with e-filing there, so they have access to the computer. There are also ways that they can paper file. So all of those things are addressed in the law and it is a requirement. So that has already been addressed by the law, thank goodness, because of the fact that even though there is a rare group of people who do not have that capability, you still want to include those people, because technology is really good in allowing us to have more time in one area, but it also gives us the ability to provide those services to someone when they come in the door. So the bottom line is sorry, my phone is ringing. Bottom line is what I would do is to ensure that that happens is to make sure that education is given to the team. Again, if you have a team that knows what they're doing and they know how to walk somebody through it, when they walk into that door, you have somebody meet them right there and walk them through the process. Even though it may be that rare opportunity, it's that one person that may need it, they're there. But if you don't have a group of people who do not have the knowledge, then at that point, they're not going to be helpful to that person walking in the door. Technology can be terrifying, but it can be a wonderful thing only if you know what you're doing. So I would suggest what I would propose is keep the law the way it is, continue to walk through that process, and to evaluate it every time that it comes around. And as simpler the process is, the more simple it is for the person to do.
Thank you. Nick, you're next on this question, this important question of the age. With the onset of electronic filing, how do you plan to ensure that people without computers have access to the services of the clerk's office and the court system? Nick Simpson.
I mean, plain and simple, test an app, have a clerk's app. Bank of America has an app. You check your banking system, you check your bank account through an app. It's secure. The clerk's office can have an app, and that would make it more accessible to younger people, people who don't necessarily have you can access it through your tablet, your phone. Makes it more accessible if you don't have a desktop. Not everyone has a desktop. Not everyone wants a desktop. So I would say, test some app technology and see how that works.
An app, okay. Thank you, Nick. Connie Taylor? If you were,
Actually,
how would you answer that question?
I would answer that question simple. It's being accessible in the office, making sure you have staff in the office that can assist. We have senior citizens and you have other people who don't want to do everything electronically. Sometimes they just want to come out and they want to come to the office and they want to get with someone face to face. And also they may not understand what to do when it comes time on the system or on the computer. So we have to make ourselves available to them in person. And being in person and having someone there in the office and making ourselves accessible to them can help them. Our senior citizens do not always want to use or neither do they understand computers. So we need to make ourselves available, and development and training is a good way of making sure we do that.
Thanks, Connie. It looks like we may have lost Nick. Hopefully he'll get back on here shortly. Nancy Syrup, with the onset of electronic filing, how do you plan to ensure people without computers have access to the services of the clerk office and the court system?
Well, there is a terminal in the clerk's office when you walk in so that they can access a computer if they wanted to do that or go up to the counter. But right now, for instance, the doors are shut at the clerk's office. So there is no access to that terminal for indigent folks right now. There's a phone number on the door, but there is no terminal access right now. Everything's been shut. So right now, I think there is going to be a problem with indigent folks being able to access the courts and the clerk's office, and that's a problem. Once we work through that, we're able to open back up. I think it's going to be training a staff to assist and to make sure that people are comfortable in asking the questions, and the staff is helpful and friendly and can assist these folks personally. So that's what we need to do.
Thank you, Nancy. Hey, Nick, we're going to switch up the questions, the order of responses here. And Nick, we want you to go first on this one. Hopefully your electronics will stay on for us.
Okay.
The question is regarding government and leadership. How will you lead the courts in serving our community more effectively if elected? Makes sense.
Well, I guess they say you lead by example, right? No, I feel like, I know I've said it, this is probably the third time. The clerk's office is the heartbeat of the Cobb justice system. So it's definitely being the centralized office where all the information kind of flows to the other various offices and to the judges' offices. The clerk has an opportunity to bring everyone together for a great initiative. Like I was talking about earlier, I was discussing the third grade reading project. I would love to start that initiative. The third grade reading project, which I told you was born from a statistic that says that prison manufacturers determine the number of beds to create or make by the number of African-American males in third grade. When I worked at the Fulton Superior Court, I actually worked for the third grade reading project with Judge Thelma Wyatt Moore and the DA's office and the judges of the court there. And it basically brings together attorneys, judges, district attorneys, defense attorneys, people from the legal community. You basically have a third grader in a local elementary school, and you meet them once a week and you read. You read and you share stories, and it provides a certain mentorship. I actually participated. I kind of helped administer and organize, and then I actually had a young man myself who I read to. Then it led to me leading a boys group. I went to the same school and led a boys group, and we had interesting discussions. They talked about wanting to play football and a career in hip hop, and I told them, hey, you can be an investment banker, you can be a lawyer, you can be in the ER, you can be a doctor. So, I think that the clerk can make a difference in that way, and I look forward to doing that.
Thank you, Nick. Going in opposite order, Connie Taylor, how would you how would you lead the courts in serving our community more effectively?
One thing we have to remember is that the clerk office is responsible for a lot of documents. We are also responsible to our citizens. We're responsible to our judges. And by leading that, I would have to say, by being the stewards of those documents, I've worked for the citizens. I worked for the judge. I am a citizen. And so you have to lead by example. And leading by example means you have to get in and work as well. You have to show that you are willing to take the initiative and do things as well as what you would ask your staff to do. You have to take the initiative to talk to the judges and also say to the judges, look, I understand you need this, and I understand the citizens need this, but we need to come together and work on it collaboratively together as one. And so I would take that initiative, whereas I will also work hand in hand with them and with the staff to make sure we do what we are expected to do, and we handle what we're supposed to handle in a confidential plus manner, plus as what our citizens expect us to do.
Thanks, Connie. Nancy Syrup, how will you lead the courts in serving our community more effectively if elected?
Well, I'll echo what was already been said as far as leading by example. I think that's accurate. I put a team together and work hard, and to make sure that there's more cooperation and communication between the judicial partners. We have court administrators, judges, lawyers in the community. And I think we all need to have conversations and communicate and collaborate in order to lead us into this new technology age and see what people need from the clerk's office, and then try to deliver that. The clerk's office is not an island, off to itself. The clerk needs to work cooperatively with these judicial partners. There's going to be a joint goal of access to the records and administration of justice. And I have the background and the experience to work with all these judicial partners and have a cohesive clerk's administration which meets all the needs of the end users. So that's how I see how I would lead the clerk's office.
Thanks, Nancy. Sandra, how would you provide, Sandra Rowan, how would you provide more effective leadership in the courts and serving our community if elected?
Leadership is one of the most important roles, and you are an example. You have to be present to be a leader. And I believe as a leader, you're leading people to be leaders. You're not leading them to work for you or just being your employees. You're empowering those around you so they can be leaders as well. One of the best ways to give great customer service is knowledge. If you have employees that work for you and they're very comfortable, well-trained, and they know what they're doing, and they're comfortable with information they have, and it's the correct information, they can give great customer service. They know what they're doing, they're comfortable in their jobs, they're happy in their jobs, and all employees would love to be happy in their jobs because it makes a difference. We had the highest rating of customer service when I ran the real estate department. It is a great group of people, and they love their jobs, still do, and they had the knowledge they needed. That was the one thing that I did provide for them, and I made sure that I had that for them. So as a leader, you are there as a servant. If you cannot be there for the people and you cannot give yourself to them and be by example and be present, you're not going to be respected. So in my mind, the best thing to do is to be there, do your job, make sure they have the information they have, and to lead by example. And that means communicating with all the departments, making sure that everything runs as smoothly as possible.
Thank you, Sandra. And Rebecca, we'll finish this question with you. How will you lead the courts in serving our community more effectively? Oh, I'm sorry, you're on mute, Rebecca.
Here we go. All right. Thank you, Daryl, for the question. Well, I've been there for almost 8 years doing this very thing. I knew when I came in that I wanted to do things differently. I wanted people to be promoted because of the work that they were doing, not because of longevity. So I changed a few things, quite a few things. But I want to mention that the Superior Court Clerk's office was created way back in the day to be a neutral party in between the parties, in between the judiciary and the lawyers. So it's really our responsibility to be neutral on issues. Although we're neutral and we protect the record, we have a great relationship. I do, my managers that work in my office, we all have a great relationship with all of the judges that sit on the bench. And that's something that we'll continue to do. But as far as government being a leader and leading and making things more efficient, it's all about teaching people how to learn their job and how to do their job effectively without relying on years of service, because a lot of folks learn a lot of things very, very quickly. And so we have a great office. What can I say? I mean, I've got a great relationship with all the legislators. I keep in touch with them about bills. And my staff, the people that work for me, are very happy. You can go and talk to them yourself. And so thanks for the question, and look forward to the next one.
Okay, great. We're going to switch it up a little again. We're past the halfway point. So 3 more questions here. And this one's pretty important. It's about, how to edify the public. The Clerk of Superior Court is considered the custodian of record and has 4 main divisions: Courts Division, Real Estate Division, Board of Equalization, and the Passport Office. That's information. The question is, does the Clerk of Court have an obligation to improve public understanding of the clerk's role in accessing the court system? And if so, how should they carry out that obligation? And I'll start with Nancy Syrup on the answering this question. Do you need me to repeat it?
Just the last bit there, if you'll just repeat that for me.
Okay. Does the Clerk of Court have an obligation to improve public understanding of the clerk's role in accessing the court system? And if so, how should they carry out that obligation?
Let's make sure I'm off. Can you hear me now? Okay, great. So I'm off. Yes, I do think they have an obligation to improve the public understanding. And how to go about that is through community involvement, going and speaking to different organizations when asked, or asking to speak to different organizations if you see that there's problems in the process or people are coming with a lot of questions, that you can seek out those organizations and try to do some instructional information. So yes, I do think they have an obligation. You can put it on your website. You can we have forms and different things on the website too that can assist and direct them to the Cobb Law Library. But yeah, I do think we have an obligation. You can get out there and communicate your mission to the people and to your staff, and have people go out and help the public that way.
Okay, thanks, Nancy. Next, Connie Taylor. What is the obligation to improve public understanding of the clerk's role in accessing the court system, and how should that be carried out?
Definitely, it should be carried out. And carrying that out means going within the community. If you go into the churches, you can go to the churches. They have meetings, and let them know that this is what the clerk office does. This is what we do. This is how you can access training. We need to inform the community. A lot of the community does not understand the simple fact about probate. They don't understand the fact about their real estate deeds being filed. They don't understand what it is, a lot of the stuff. The Board of Equalization, what the Board of Equalization does, that they even have meetings that you can go that's open to the public. The tax assessor's office is open to the public during their meeting. So yes, we need to go out into the community. And I'm not saying going out to the community every now and then. We should make sure that our public and our citizens, our constituents, understand exactly what that office is, what it is that we do, and who is in that office, who you can contact in that office as it relates to questions. The managers, they should be accountable as well. When I say staff, I don't say my staff. I work right alongside them. We work together. It's a cohesiveness. It's something that we do together. And yes, the public should be informed, and it's our job to do that.
Thank you. Rebecca, you're next. Does the clerk of court have an obligation to improve public understanding of the clerk's role in accessing the court system? And if so, how should they carry it out?
I definitely agree that we have a duty to inform the public about what services the Superior Court clerk has to offer and what we do. It's kind of interesting because when you go around campaigning and you talk to people about the Superior Court clerk's office, a lot of people don't even know it's an elected position. So I'm constantly going to different functions, speaking at different functions, like it was mentioned before, and explaining to people what it's like and what our office is like. If you go to the clerk's website, you'll find a video there that will hear, you can hear from some of the folks that work at the office. So, to see what's going on in the office and how it works and how it's implemented, anybody can go there and look at that. But really important is I had this idea probably a year ago where I thought, we need to publish something. We need to publish a piece of literature that describes everything that we do in the clerk's office. So I did that, and I actually happen to have a copy with me right now. And this is something that we created, me and my office, not me myself, but I relied on my chief deputy and all of my managers. And we put together this information brochure that explains everything about those departments, what the Board of Equalization does, what phone numbers to call, what the real estate division, the courts division, the passport acceptance facility, and what we offer. And it's got websites and phone numbers and every bit of information you could possibly need about this office. And so we keep these out in our lobby as well as all over the county. We go to, Thank you. Thank you.
Next, Nancy, your question for you: how you lead our courts? The obligation to improve public understanding of the clerk's role in accessing the court system? How should we carry that out?
I think you mean Sandra or some, I've already answered the question, sir.
You already answered the question. I'm sorry. The question is to Nick Simpson. Nick, you're on mute.
Yes. Sorry. Actually, can you repeat the question for me?
Does the clerk of court have an obligation to improve public understanding of the clerk's role in accessing the court system, and how should that be carried out?
I would say absolutely. I feel like a good example of the clerk's role in interfacing with the public and disseminating information. I mean, because honestly, look, the clerk's office could use a good street team. It wouldn't hurt. But example, in 2011, supervision of the Board of Equalization was transferred from the tax commissioner to the clerk of Superior Court, which is good because now you don't have the rooster guarding the hen house. But I mean, the property owners and commercial property owners, that's something they would want to know. COVID-19 has hit. The economy is kind of on a downswing, unfortunately. But Atlanta, like the phoenix, will rise from the ashes. The economy will soar. Property values will soar. So it would be comforting for a homeowner to know, or property owner, commercial or residential, to know that they have some type of recourse if they feel that their property tax assessment is inaccurate. So to answer your question, yes.
Okay, thank you. And Sandra, you're last to answer this question, about the obligation to improve public understanding and the clerk's role, and how would you carry that out?
Obviously, that's the whole reason it's an elected position. As a clerk, you're basically the CEO for the citizens of Cobb. You're the servant. So obviously, you're there for them. Just if you have stockholders in Google, you're responsible to them. Your entire job is for the citizens of Cobb. The clerk of Superior Court doesn't belong to a clerk. It belongs to the people of Cobb County. That is the most important role that the clerk will ever have. So absolutely, it is our responsibility. Now, how you go around doing that? There are a lot of different ways. Social media, which obviously we are now doing and resulting to that. But the most important thing is that one person can't do it alone. So I would stick to training the staff, whether it's management or an employee that's not a management, making sure that they have the proper training, know what they're doing, and then they go out into whatever area they need to. They're going to be able to explain their job. They're going to explain those things to other people. They're also going to be able to answer the phone and quickly and decisively give you an exact answer. So there's a lot of different values that come into play when you're educating the public. And again, we've already touched on age. I can't imagine my mother trying to figure Zoom out, but I was lucky enough to do it. My teenager probably better. So I think you have to also look at, Nancy, you're laughing at me. You also have to look at all those different things, because guess what? Cobb County's got all different ages.
Okay, thank you. And to be respectful of everyone's time, as we started off, we're going to move into the closing statements. And if you would, in your closing statements, also answer the question of what makes you the better candidate. We'll start off with the closing statement from Connie Taylor. You're on mute, Connie.
I have to unmute, okay? Sometimes I guess I do go through that senior moment.
Thank you. Closing statement, and what makes you the better candidate?
My closing statement, what makes me the better candidate? I'm going to say what makes me the right candidate. I'm the right candidate because I am a citizen. I'm the right candidate because I believe in what our clerk office should be. I'm the right candidate because I too have worked in government. I too understand what it is that is needed from the office. I've been living in this county for a long time, and I understand what it is we have and what it is we don't have. So I am the person that will get out there and work with the staff. I am the person that will get out there and get in the community, because I am an advocate for the community. I've gone to a lot of community meetings, and not once have I seen someone from the clerk office a part of those meetings to tell the people what is needed and what we are doing. So what I bring to that and why you should elect me is because I, Connie Taylor, believe in the citizens, and I believe in what's important with the clerk's office as a citizen. And so I ask you to go out on June the 9th, and please mail in your ballots. Mail your ballots in, because we are safe distancing right now. And let's remember that there are a lot of people who want to go out, and if you go out, wear your mask, because we are citizens and we love our citizens, and I love the citizens of Cobb, and I want us all to be safe. Thank you.
Connie. Thank you very much for your closing statement. Next, Nick, your closing statement, and in your response, please answer the question of what makes you the better candidate.
Okay. So just a little anecdote. You know, when I was younger, my parents would drive around looking for homes. We're always looking at homes. And eventually my mom became a real estate agent, still looking at homes. And, you know, I learned a lot about her, about, you know, real estate and you know, wills and trusts and transferring real estate and transferring deeds and, you know, making sure things were safe and secure. And those things were taught to me from a very young age. So I've kept them with me my whole life, have that same information and knowledge here today. You know, like I said, I've worked for the Fulton County Superior Court in the past. Busiest trial court of general jurisdiction, worked for a former chief judge there. Started out at the Fulton Family Division, which is one of the first of its kind. Starting from the ground floor at this court with boxes, and, you know, it wasn't even really built out, and working to help build that court and the case count and the different cases coming in, building that from scratch. And then being transferred over to the Family Law Information Center, where I helped indigent families, you know, perform civil actions that they otherwise cannot afford to do. You have domestic order protections, name change, things of that nature. You know, and these particular experiences with my mom in real estate and working at the courthouse, I feel have made me a fit for Clerk of Superior Court, because these are two of things that, you know, I feel like I'm well versed in. I have experience working with the judges, working with the DA's office, working with the solicitor's office, working with other clerks' offices. I have that information. I have the experience, and I have what it takes to be the next clerk.
Okay, thank you. Up next, Rebecca Keaton, what makes you the better candidate in your closing statement, please? You're on mute. There you go.
There we go. All right, thank you. As this forum has demonstrated, I believe, there's only one candidate that is completely qualified to be the Clerk of Superior Court, and that's the clerk that's been the clerk over the almost last 8 years of service. Why do I say that? Because over this time, we have modernized the office. We have created fantastic technology we did not have before. I have a chief technology officer. I even have a technology fund. We've created e-filing. We've done amazing things with technology, and we have even more to come. We've expanded our services to passports. We didn't always provide passports. That's something that I expanded. And so since 2017, we started doing the passports, and folks love that. Most importantly, it's the staff. It's really about the staff. It's not really about me. It's about the folks that work there in the office. And again, if you want to know more about the office and the staff and whether they're happy, go ask them. I welcome you to do that. They're great folks. We've spent a lot of time and a lot of effort picking just the right people for these offices. And so in the upcoming elections, you're going to have a choice to make. You're going to have to choose folks that are, or choose someone that is inexperienced and inconsistent, or you're going to vote for us in keeping this high standard in place with our team, because a vote for me is a vote for my team. It's been an honor to serve, and it'll be an honor to serve 4 more years. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rebecca. Now, Nancy, you're up. Your closing statement, and please include what makes you the better candidate. Nancy Syrup. There you go.
Thank you. Well, I think I'm the most experienced and qualified candidate. And I've lived in Cobb for 28 years. I've raised my kids in Cobb and I've worked in Cobb. I've owned my own business in Cobb County for the last 10 years. I'm the only Democratic candidate who's a lawyer. I have 30 years as experience as a lawyer. I understand the court system, the needs of the people the clerk's office serves. I'm a trial lawyer, and that work as a trial lawyer requires hard work, critical thinking, and adaptability. My work in family law requires me to be a good listener, to understand the needs of each client, to communicate effectively with people. It also requires that I manage people's emotions and guide them in difficult situations and help problem solve. I'll bring these skills with me if I'm given the honor to be the next clerk of Superior Court. And I'm running for clerk because I want to improve the judicial experience for everyone. We need a clerk that works to serve the people in connection with a joint effort with all the partners in the judicial system. I want a clerk's office that treats everyone with dignity and respect and that reaches out and helps people. If I'm your next clerk, if you give me that honor, I will put together a team of people that have the same mindset as I do. They want to serve the public and make the Cobb County Clerk's Office the best it can be. I want to lead by example. I want to be your next clerk of Superior Court, and I ask for your support in the June 9 primary. There's a lot more about me, and I can't fill it all in this little bit. So if you would like to know more about me after this, go to nancyforcobb.com, or you can go to my Facebook page at Nancy Syrup for Superior Court Clerk.
Thank you, Nancy. And finishing us up, Sandra Rowan, what makes you the better candidate in your closing statement, please?
I believe I'm the better candidate because I have proven experience where directly individuals have got to see, the entire county's got to see that when I was at Board of Equalization, I intentionally went after, simplified the law, simplified some of the different processes that happened, saved money, 25% of the total budget within the first year of budgeting. So much that it was put into legislation in 2015. So now every clerk gets to have that result of productivity being improved and customer service being met to the individuals that come in to appeal their taxes. It's a very trying time for someone to come in to these cases and present their case, and they don't have an attorney with them to appeal their taxes. So it has been a really good honor for me to do that. Also in real estate, again, we were one of the first that filed the e-file for the security deeds. It took a lot of collaboration with the authority, with the Department of Revenue, and several others to make that happen. So I have the experience on that. Also, I am a leader who believes in empowering those around me, ensuring they have the knowledge that they need to give the great customer service. Nothing that I just mentioned to you could I have done without a great staff. That is what makes a great leader, is a great staff. So again, I believe in making government work for the citizens of Cobb. I will continue to do that, and I'm running for office because I believe in it. This is my home, and this is what I am planning on doing. So I'm asking for your vote on June the 9th, Sandra Rowan for Clerk of Superior Court. That's what I'm looking forward to. You can find out more details around me on votesandra.com.
Well, thanks, Sandra. And I want to thank everyone, all of the candidates presented here for Clerk of Court for the Superior Court of Cobb County. Thank you very much for your attendance. I will turn it over now to Madam President, Ms. Bonner, to close it out.
Well, thank you, Mr. Wilson. And I'd like to say thank you for this great job that you did moderating us tonight. So it was very informative. We certainly appreciate you taking out the time out of your schedule to come and push this forward. I'd like to say personally to you candidates, thank you for stepping up. It takes a lot. Public service is such a tremendous job, a thankless job. And I'd like to say thank you for considering it. And I pray that you all continue to be safe and have a great evening. Be safe. On behalf of the NAACP, we truly want to thank you for giving us your time this evening to help us inform our voters. So thank you again and have a pleasant evening.
Good night, all.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.